lights, and guess what? We're going to take it off-road and see how it does here in the Canadian wilderness. Coming up next on the Fast Lane Car.
Hello!
Hello.
Right, so it's got quite slippery down the next section. So obviously you've got the hill descent control on, which is good. What I want to do is just speed it up a notch so that the car doesn't try to go too slowly.
Okay.
So if you press and hold the plus button, just give it one. That's lovely. Oh, too much. Bring it down just to the end of the green line, and another one, and one more. Just that's it. So it's just enough to help guide the car down, but not too much to hopefully cause it too much slip. Keep it in the ruts and just trust the car. Let go of the brake, and it'll guide itself down quite happily. But it is slippy.
Like a pinball, Colin. Like a pinball.
Yeah.
So I've just ran down the hill, and my co-driver Colin gets to drive the LR2. Land Rover was kind enough to set up this rather challenging and icy off-road course for us to experience the car at its wintry best. So here comes Colin. Let's watch him come down the hill. Wow, I'm not sure that the hill descent control was on, because he was coming down pretty quick. Let's go find out. Let's ask him if he's a bit nervous about that descent. Did you have the hill descent on, man? You flying down that hill.
The whole thing was hill descent, no feet on the pedals.
Really?
Yeah.
You were doing like 15 miles an hour. Oh, were you okay? Were you worried?
No. It's just that if you brake, then
you lose control.
Then you lose the wheels, just carry on going, and then you have no control at all.
You know, I've shot a lot of video, and I was afraid because you were just careening down that hill at me.
Sorry.
Good job. So you may be wondering what's new about the 2013 LR2. Well, to start with, the headlights are new. It now has a signature Land Rover line that runs through the lights. There's also a new grille. On the back there are new taillights, but perhaps most importantly, there's a new engine under the hood. Now, if this looks familiar, it's because it's the same engine that's in the Evoque, a 240 horsepower turbocharged 4-cylinder that puts out 317 Newton meters. I don't know what that is in torque. We're in Canada, but I will font it once I figure out down here. In the rest of the world, you can get this vehicle in a diesel version, but in America, we get the turbo with a 100-speed automatic as the only choice. Alright, you guys are from where?
From Argentina.
And we don't get the diesel in America, so how does it drive?
But yeah, in Argentina, yes.
Yes, I know, but not in America, so how does it drive?
Fine, excellent.
Fine? Is
excellent,
it? Good
excellent.
power?
Yeah?
Yeah?
We feel the powerful in drive, okay? My English is very bad.
Your English is excellent.
No, I speak like Tarzan.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, the LR2 competes with cars like the BMW X3, the Audi Q5, and even the Volkswagen Tiguan. So what sets this car apart from the competitors? Well, Land Rover will tell you it's the command driving position and the stadium seating for the passengers in the back seat. Now, Land Rover has a system which is called terrain response, and you can set it for snow and ice, you can set it for desert, you can set it for forest, and the system anticipates the kind of traction you're going to need. Now, we just took the car off-road, and it did very well in some slippery and muddy conditions. Tell me about the terrain response system that it has.
Okay, there's 4 modes on the terrain response, and it controls accurately the traction to each of the 4 wheels through the Haldex is the main heart of that system, which is on the rear axle.
So does this car mainly a front wheel drive car that then can allocate wheel power from the front to the back and to the left to right? Is that how that works?
That's correct, yeah. Normally on a road you get 80% of the power goes to the front wheels. We have the capability to push a lot of that power to the back wheels once we start to lose traction in off-road circumstances or when we're on snow and ice.
And is this something that your buyers use, or is this something that's more of a marketing tool, or both?
I think a lot of our buyers will take their vehicle off-road.
Yeah.
Maybe not frequently.
Now we know the LR2 is very capable when fording a few feet of water, but what happens when there's a lot more water? Luckily, Land Rover has thought of that, and they provided us with a ferry. Look, it's Marty Paget. How are you, Marty?
I got bacon grease on the car. I'm wiping it off. I'm sorry.
So tell me, how is the LR2 at fording a river?
I haven't forded one yet. Also can't afford one. So
how about the lake?
I didn't do the fording. He did.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah.
I was talking about this one. It seems very capable.
Oh, this river.
Yeah.
I'd rather be steering the boat at this point.
The LR2 obviously isn't a sports car, but we're going to do a real world testing, and we're going to see how fast it goes from 0 to, well, 100 kilometers, no, 60 miles per hour at sea level. I have another passenger in the car, so there's two of us in here. Alright, Solo DL is set up outside because the windscreen of the LR2 has little wires that help it defrost and it doesn't pick up the signal. So here we go, just going to floor it. Turbo is cooling up. There is 50 kilometers and here comes 60 miles an hour. Alright, what do you think that was? 9.02. 9.02. Which, you know, for a mid-size crossover that's really not meant to be a speedy race car is respectable. You know, I'm impressed. The LR2 drives very well. It's very buttoned down. It's not harsh. I have a good sense for where the wheels are. The steering is direct. And of course, it has that classic Land Rover trait of the high command driving position, which makes you feel like you're sitting on top of the world. I need to spend a week with it to really get to know the vehicle, but from an initial drive, it seems to do quite well. The LR2 was introduced back in 2006. You might know it as a Freelander, and since that time, they've sold over 300,000 units. That's a lot of cars for a small company like Land Rover. It feels like they've upgraded the car over those years. It feels like they've kept continually improving it to make it more of a premium vehicle than when it first started out. With the latest upgrade, Land Rover has moved the LR2 up market. I have a heated steering wheel that looks like it came out of a Range Rover. The materials that I touch are soft. In fact, all the controls are right out of an LR4. It feels much more expensive. It feels much more refined. Now, of course, the big question with an LR2 is reliability. And that is a tough question to answer when you're on a one-day initial drive of the new car. So I'm going to have to leave that for a longer review. Well, snow tires or not, you can get a car sliding. You okay? Or are you?
Yeah, that's fine.
You sure? You look like you were a little nervous there.
Yeah, I was a bit. Yeah.
You better get some speed to go up that hill.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Shall I take the traction control off?
Yeah, this is not a traction control, this is a DEF.
Yeah.
And now, we're going to go a little bit backwards.
Okay.
Okay, back. A bit of momentum.
I almost fell going up this hill. It is very icy. All right, attempt number 3, going up a very slick bit of road. There he goes. Nice work, Colin.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was good work. So it's not like a Wrangler. I mean, a Wrangler would just eat this alive, and to a large extent the LR4 will eat it alive too, just because you've got air suspension, you can raise the car, and you can get a lot more confidence that you're not going to hit anything. On the other hand, would you want to drive 300 miles in a Wrangler, especially with off-road tires? You know, that's something that probably wouldn't be that comfortable. All right, this is where I normally drive. This is where my head is at. This is where my feet are at. It's not huge back here, but you knew that. I mean, it's a small entry-level luxury crossover that's very off-road capable. If you have a small family, or if you're an empty nester, it's plenty big. LR2 starts at $37,000 and goes all the way up to about $42,000.